said, right, even though demand for mortgage applications is down, it's still not down significantly enough to meet the inventory that we currently have. However, the challenge is that these inventory levels are so low that a lot of realtors out there are feeling the pain. Right? There's not as many new listings. There's not as many homes to sell. So even though the market is sort of wonky, actually, you've got different parts of the market where houses are now starting to sit longer and longer before they're selling. And yet you've got pieces of the market where we're seeing multiple offers still in this marketplace. So it's a pretty fascinating time.
The longer that we stay at these rates, kind of in the 6% range, if you will, it starts to be a little bit more palatable to the consumer. It's seasoned, right? We're kind of like, oh, this is where we're at now versus the big bounce that we fell from sub 3% rates. Like it takes us a little while as a consumer to lick our wounds and realize the new reality that we're in. But once we're in it for a while, we realize, oh, okay, I really still can buy a house with the 6% rate.
The government announced their monthly jobs report showed payrolls rose by 517,000 last month. This really has impacted investors as well in the regular stock market, because what they're concerned now is that the Federal Reserve may not pause raising interest rates. And by the way, that was an expectation that's sort of been fueling the stock market this year, is that, hey, the Fed's got it under control. We've had several months of dropping inflation. Now they can slow down. And we saw last month, they actually only did a 0.25% increase, or a 25 basis point increase. This sort of data that's coming out with these jobs and the labor market could mean that the Fed is going to be a little more aggressive or have to continue to raise interest rates for a much longer period. There are problems to solve. We know evictions are a big issue in this country, and affordability is the cause of that. What we don't need is another million people put out on the streets because they can't afford rental property. So I'm not saying I have the answer. Trust me, I do not. But this is a problem that we as a nation have to figure out. And as you said, I think that there are other ways of doing it, right? Could we have spent, for example, the $45 billion that the administration had earmarked for rental assistance? What if they went and built housing with that $45 billion?
Yep. You impact the supply, right? Which therefore creates additional options for those that maybe were priced out of another rental unit, for example. But it also keeps owners of these properties in check because, again, supply and demand, you still need to be competitive to some degree. So if there are more affordable units available in your marketplace, then you can't just charge an egregious amount because people will find other options.